Good morning, everyone. I'm Todd Hicks. We hope your day is off to a good start. The owner of this home is the one that called 911, but firefighters were never prepared for what they found inside. Yona Gavino, live at Veterans Park this morning to show us. Good morning, Yona. There is no better place to take in some rays with Dad this Sunday. A family still struggling to deal with a heartbreaking tragedy. The FBI and police raided her home. They came armed with a search warrant. This morning, the Secretary of Defense has ordered an aircraft carrier to the Persian Gulf. It's asphalt that resembles more like pieces of a puzzle than a city street. Let's get a look at your storm team forecast. Word of this long-standing company shutting down caught many by surprise. Salah Jones' aunt tells me the FBI and police raided her home. They came armed with a search warrant, looking for that rare violin and possibly a weapon used in the crime. Tonight, she's standing by her nephew, claiming he's innocent.
And they busted my door in.
This is the home where a dramatic search took place for a priceless violin Monday. Salah Jones is one of the suspects in the theft. His aunt said dozens of detectives and FBI agents tore her house apart, searching for the Stradivarius. What did they tell you they were looking for?
For a $6 million violin that it was never here, and my nephew never took that.
The woman who doesn't want us to show her on TV tells me Salah and a second suspect had 3 children together. She showed me a copy of the search warrant, and it just wasn't the violin they were looking for. They were also searching for a taser used to stun Frank Allman before the violin was snatched from his hands.
They looked everywhere, and they wouldn't let me in the house. I had to sit out in the car because they said that they had this search warrant.
In the end, police left empty-handed, but they returned here Wednesday to grill the woman on where the Stradivarius could be hidden. And police asked her to provide family information and contact numbers, but that woman tonight says no one in that family knows where that violin is. We're live at the Police Administration headquarters in downtown Milwaukee. Todd Hicks, today's TMJ4. The owner of this home is the one that called 911, but firefighters were never prepared for what they found inside that helped fuel the flames.
That's all I saw was flames coming out of the garage.
These are the flames and plumes of billowing smoke Tom Weber discovered at his neighbor's home in Hales Corners.
I drove around to this side, and the flames are actually coming out of by the back of the house, too.
The couple who owns this home near 108th and Janesville Road called 911 after the fire started, but it's what firefighters found inside that had them calling for backup.
A large accumulation of materials that could be on the verge of hoarding.
Boxes and bags full of stuff piled on top of one another, paper and other items that turned this fire into an inferno.
At the point when we saw that we couldn't make progress on the large amount of materials stored in this house, we decided to upgrade the call.
This is video shot by Chopper 4. It shows smoke so thick it could be seen for miles and at times even blocked out the sun. It's been several hours and fire crews are still here. They're worried about possible flare-ups inside this home filled top to bottom with the owner's belongings. The elderly couple escaped, but one of them was treated for burns to the face. Now investigators are starting what could be a long task of figuring out how this fire started. And you can see that fire investigators are still on the scene here, worried about possible flare-ups tonight, and I'm told it could take more than a day just to figure out exactly where this fire started inside that home. We're live in Hales Corners tonight. Todd Hicks, today's TMJ4. This is a piece of that freight train too big to fit under the 35th Street Bridge. Now inspectors are looking at other spans and looking for more damage.
The next train out discovered what had happened.
This is what the conductor of a freight train discovered sitting by the tracks Monday morning. It's a massive airfoil used for double-decker trains. Railroad Commissioner Jeff Qualey tells me it should never have been on this route.
This line is not intended for double stacks because of the low clearance on bridges.
We're trying to determine how this particular car with these clearance issues was put on this route.
The railroad tells me double-stack cars were removed in Chicago, but the airfoil remained. It scraped the bridge at Howell and Holt first and then continued on the tracks. It hit a second bridge north of Oklahoma and I-43 until it was ripped off at the 35th Street Bridge between Lincoln and Forest Home. The conductor of the train didn't know what happened until another train went by. If these bridges have low clearance, how could a double-stack car possibly make it onto the rail system?
That's a darn good question, because they're not supposed to.
Of course, that is the million-dollar question tonight, and you can see how that girder was split in two. Now, officials tell me that they plan on opening one southbound lane of the bridge, but as of right now, that hasn't happened yet. We're live on Milwaukee's South Side tonight. Todd Hicks, today's TMJ4. The shutdown of I-94 creating a traffic nightmare. Drivers even taking drastic steps to get off this highway of hell.
Don't go this way. Trust me.
I'm glad my car is at home in the garage.
It's this gridlock on I-94 that has Jim Timmerman on two wheels this weekend. The Milwaukee man knew the closure for construction would be bad, but he never thought it'd be like this.
Yeah.
You wanted to scope it out.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I think it's a mess.
This section of I-94 at Rawson has been closed off in both directions so crews can install a new culvert across the interstate. Some drivers scramble to escape the chaos once they hit traffic. This driver was pulled over for driving on the shoulder. This one ignoring a construction worker and driving around the orange barrels. This is traffic drivers in Milwaukee haven't seen for years. We hit traffic just south of the Mitchell interchange. Fast forward an hour later, we're just approaching the airport spur.
This is horrible.
Drivers in most cases were averaging just a couple miles per hour when they were moving at all. They weren't shy about warning others about avoiding the interstate completely.
Just don't even come here. Find a different way.
Timmerman is taking the advice one step further. You're going to stick to two wheels for a while?
The rest of the day and probably even next week.
The DOT says I-94 could open Sunday morning sometime around 9 a.m. At College and I-94 tonight, Todd Hicks, today's TMJ4. Abigail Kobriger says her life changed forever on her recent Florida vacation. The memories of what would happen taken by a very famous person.
It's still very emotional.
Abigail Kobriger can't hold back the tears after a marriage proposal from Tim Schlosser last week. Tim didn't tell Abigail what he had planned to do on that Florida beach. He just needed someone to take the picture. Who he ran into next, Tim calls fate.
I know that guy. You know, I could just tell from the build and from about 100 yards away. And it's Mike McCarthy.
Stunned and starstruck, they asked McCarthy for his photo. Then this.
I asked him, I said, could you take a picture of us? And she's like, what?
The Packers coach was about to take the picture. Tim made his move.
Coach, hang on, I got one thing to do. I pull out the ring, I get down on one knee.
You can see the shocked look on Abigail's face. Tim says Coach McCarthy had a slightly different reaction.
In his kind of unique voice, he goes, this is cool. This is really cool.
And he didn't stop with a few shots. The coach snapped 30 photos for the couple to remember their day. Not on the frozen tundra, but the white sands more than 1,500 miles away. On the scale of marriage proposals, 1 to 10, where does this rate?
20.
And the couple tells me they don't have a wedding date set just yet. They're still pinching themselves about their chance encounter. In the newsroom, Todd Hicks, today's TMJ4. With the forecast expected this weekend in the 70s and 80s, there is no better place to take in some rays with Dad this Sunday than the beach, but that likely won't be the case here in North Beach in Racine. It's been closed to swimming due to high bacterial counts. Now, testing by the health department revealed those dangerous levels. You're taking a look at some video shot by Chopper 4 with Power Zoom this morning. Now, in addition to here at North Beach, Zoo Beach has also been closed to swimming. Of course, testing here is ongoing, and of course that could change at any time, but this is some definitely not good news for businesses in this area, as well as the people that are heading to what could be a fun weekend. Of course, as we know, looks can be deceiving. We're live in North Beach this morning in Racine. Todd Hicks, today's TMJ4.
Right now from today's TMJ4.
This is Live at Daybreak Saturday.
And you're taking a live look at Port Washington this morning. Sun coming up, a few clouds in the sky, but boy, it is going to change. First of all, good morning, everyone. I'm Todd Hicks. We hope your day is off to a good start today. Let's get started with a check of the weather. Here is Michael Fish. Good morning, Fish. Police vowing to stop the violence after a 5-year-old girl was shot inside her own home. Now, police say 2 men fired 12 shots at the house. They say it was a targeted attack, but they hit the wrong victim. Now, Layla Peterson, who just turned 5 in September, is gone, but her family takes comfort in the fact that Layla's heart was donated to save another life.
Some other child night.
Milwaukee Mayor Tom Barrett says he recognizes that something needs to change.
A little girl is sitting, what the hell's going on here?
At the time of the shooting, Barrett was meeting with about 200 neighborhood block captains, thanking them for taking an active role in keeping their communities safe. All of this comes as the city debates cutting the police budget. Now, despite that, the Common Council voting yesterday to hire 12 more police officers. It'll cost about $800,000. Some aldermen voted against it, saying adding more officers isn't going to stop the violence.
The one Larry,
the young lady who actually got shot last night.
And the mayor still has to sign off on those additional officers. More news now. American troops are headed back to Iraq. The U.S. will send another 1,500 servicemen and women, roughly double the number that are currently on post. They're not intended as combat troops, rather to train Iraqi forces so they can fight ISIS themselves. Adrian Peterson losing a key sponsorship. Nike is dropping him after he was indicted for beating one of his children. Now, Peterson also lost his Castor motor oil sponsorship. He's still suspended from the Minnesota Vikings and is banned from team activities. Expect lane closures along Capitol Drive in Shorewood over the next few weeks. We Energy's crews are working on electric and natural gas service for the Harbor Chase construction project. That means lane closures for both east and westbound drivers near Wilson Drive. And a travel warning if you're headed up to Green Bay for the Bears game tomorrow. Expect lots of construction near the US 41 interchange with Highway 172. Now, the speed limit is reduced to 55 miles an hour in several spots on the way to Green Bay. Well, the 51st annual Veterans Day Parade happens later today in downtown Milwaukee. Military members from across the state will march along with bands and patriotic floats. The parade gets going at 11 a.m. from Plankington and Kilbourne. It ends at the War Memorial on the lakefront. And this Sunday night football bus is out there for everyone to see as it makes its way to Green Bay for tomorrow's game. Yona Gavino live at Veterans Park this morning to show us. Good morning, Yona.
Today's TMJ4.
Thanks so much, Yona. And of course, you have us all in suspense now. And again, that bus will be at Lambeau tomorrow as the Packers take on the Bears. You can watch the game right here on today's TMJ4. Kickoff, by the way, at 7:30.